Hello and welcome. I am Ben the Best 5 and I am producing yet more Kerbal Space Program content to be watched by my, I'm assuming, loyal and loving fan base. Anyway, about today's mission. You might notice that this rocket is not like any that you've seen before, and it in fact does not have any recovery equipment on board. That is because for this mission we will in fact not be performing any recoveries. That's right, this mission is in fact very, very inefficient, just simply because, well, I didn't have a rocket in my repertoire that would be able to support the payload, and I didn't have time to work out how to make one that could support it and also be recovered. So as a result, we will in fact be using an expendable launch vehicle. Now, as for the payload and mission itself, the payload is just a bunch of science which we will be using to send to Jool in order to collect enough science to beam back and unlock the rapier engines and nerva engines. Because last week I in fact launched an SSTO, however it was rather inefficient because it wasn't using the best possible parts for an SSTO. So as a result, for this mission I will in fact be heading to Jool, a place I haven't been before, which means I can get tons and tons of science and send it back and hopefully unlock the parts I required. Now, I was about 500 science short, and as you can see there, I have in fact brought 4 different sets of science units. That's because Jool itself contains biomes which you can get, because you can get space around Jool science, and Jool also has 3 rather large moons, which makes it an ideal location to farm science. Now, if you can get it right, you can get flybys of all 3 of those moons, and then, yes, optimize your scientific gathering. Anyway, I'm just quickly circularizing with our payload, just by the way there is no mission involved with this. This is one that I'm in fact paying for out of pocket for with my funds that I've saved by doing efficient missions previously. Although this entire mission only cost about 120,000 funds, so it wasn't very expensive anyway. Anyway, I launched at a Jool transfer window, which is about 90 degrees from Kerbin, which meant that getting in a rough encounter was very, very easy, which meant I could just drag out my prograde marker and adjust the point of burn just a little bit until I ended up near to a Jool encounter, and then I just got there and did some small fine tweaks, and then I brought it to basically as close as I could bring it, and yes, I'm going to be executing the burn about now, and yes, I'll also be performing a mid-course correction, because as you can see, Jool, it's not on the same orbital plane as Kerbin. It's actually off by about 2.5 degrees, which is quite a fair amount, which can mean that, as we can see here, my intersection, or my flyby node is going to be significantly above the equator of Jool, and that is because of the inclination change. So what I'm doing to combat that is I'm in fact making a normal burn in orbit of the Sun. Now, the reason that I'm using the Sun's orbit to do this is simply because with normal or anti-normal burns, the closer you are to the body that you're orbiting, the less efficient your burn will be. And since the Sun is very big, it has a large sphere of influence, but because it's hot, all the planets have to orbit a long way away from it, which means that it's the ideal spot to perform normal and anti-normal burns. So as a result, that's what I chose for my destination, or my location to perform said burns. Now, the first moon I'm going to be targeting from around Jool is Lathe. The reason that I'm going for Lathe first is because it is the moon which is closest into the orbit of Jool, which means that my orbit has to pass through its sphere of influence, and to make sure I get it, because if it can pass through the sphere of influence of Lathe, it means that its orbit is definitely long enough to pass through the other two moons, and also means that we get the one that was most unlikely to get to, because it's the furthest in, and thus requires, basically by doing Lathe first, it basically just guarantees that we get them all. Anyway, now that I've done that, we are in fact at Lathe through the magic of editing and skipping out massively long time warps. Now, as you can see here, I am in fact using our bay to collect as much science as I possibly can from this questionably designed craft. Lathe is quite pretty, I must admit. It's great for some cinematic shots, which I'm sure YouTube's looking at and going, that looks pretty nice, we should definitely up his, recommendation status so that, more people discover his wonderful, wonderful content and decide to watch it. Anyway, since Val is the next moon out, it meant that that was the moon we had to target next. And we were in fact really nice and close to getting a Jool, Lathe, Val encounter, so I just had to perform a small correction at periapsis around Jool, which you saw me prepare there, and while I was there I figured I might as well collect the Jool biome sites before I forgot. However, I made a mistake and I time warped way past the burn. However, I just decided to leave in that encounter there because that shows you the correct way that you should have done it. And here now I'm in fact just creating a last minute fix up burn to bring ourselves to an encounter of Val so that we can collect more science. Now please note I did in fact have just a rough figure of 500 science, and I was in fact writing down how much science I would get if I beamed it all back, and how much I would get if I managed to recover all the science worth, because I am collecting the science into a collector unit which has a heat shield and parachute, so it could theoretically return to Kerbin if the mothership could in fact return there. However, because of the gravity assist push we get from Jool later on, we in fact discover that it will be impossible to return to Kerbin. However, I did make sure I stockpiled enough science that even if it was beamed back, then we could still unlock the parts we wanted, which was the whole goal of the mission. I did initially look for a Tylo encounter, but as you can see, it was way too far, and there was no chance that we were going to get one. So I decided to not even try, and as you can see, we got flung out of Jool's sphere of influence, and in fact we're getting flung out of the sun. So as a result, I decided to just count it there and send back the science, as I had collected all the science I needed to unlock the parts I was looking to unlock. So yeah, I'd say mission success. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. Please click one of the links on the screen to see more of my content, because that would greatly support me. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, hope you enjoyed and have a great day.